On February 12, 2009, a single anonymous question sent to a teenage boy in Ohio sparked a chain reaction that would briefly reshape the way strangers converse online, only to implode 3 years later in a digital ash heap. Formspring, the queue and a social network that promised, "Ask me anything," surged from a dorm room prototype to a cultural touchstone, then vanished, leaving behind a cautionary tale of hype, privacy missteps, and the relentless grind of monetization. Born in the cramped basement of a University of California, Berkeley dorm, Formspring was the brainchild of two Stanford alumni, Ade Alano and Mike M. The concept was simple. Users create a profile, share a link, and invite anyone to ask them questions, anonymous or identified. In an era still reeling from MySpace's decline and before Instagram's glossy filters, the platform offered a raw, unfiltered conduit for curiosity, confession, and inevitably conflict. Within weeks, the site attracted 100,000 users, and by the end of 2009, it boasted over 5 million registered accounts. The rise was meteoric. High schoolers used Formspring to flirt, tease, and test the boundaries of anonymity, while celebrities and brands experimented with it as a novelty marketing channel. The site's sleek, orange and white interface made posting a question as easy as clicking a button, and its promise of anonymity lowered the social guardrails that usually govern conversation. Media outlets lapped up the story. The New York Times called it the modern-day confession booth, while TechCrunch praised its viral potential. By the summer of 2010, Formspring had secured $12 million in venture capital, and its user base swelled to an estimated 12 million active profiles. The platform's growth curve seemed unstoppable, and its founders basked in the glow of a new internet frontier. But beneath the surface, warning signs flickered. The very anonymity that fueled engagement also birthed a darker undercurrent. Harassment, cyberbullying, and sextortion proliferated as users discovered how to weaponize the platform's privacy veil. High-profile incidents, such as the tragic suicide of a teenager after receiving a torrent of hateful messages, forced journalists to question Formspring's responsibility. The site's moderation tools were rudimentary, relying heavily on user reports and a small team of volunteer moderators. As the volume of abuse escalated, the platform struggled to keep pace, and the public's perception began to shift from fascination to fear. Simultaneously, Formspring's business model revealed cracks. Advertising revenue, the lifeblood of most free social networks, proved fickle. Brands were hesitant to place ads next to a stream of potentially offensive content, and the site's ad placements generated far less income than projected. In late 2010, the founders attempted to introduce premium features, a Pro subscription offering advanced analytics and the ability to hide from anonymous questions. The move alienated many core users who valued the free, egalitarian nature of the service. Subscription numbers remained meager, and the revenue boost was negligible. The turning point arrived in early 2011, when a series of high-profile lawsuits targeted the platform for alleged negligence in protecting minors. Plaintiffs argued that Formspring's lax verification processes enabled predators to exploit young users. The legal battles drained resources and forced the company to allocate funds toward compliance rather than innovation. At the same time, new competitors entered the space. Platforms like Ask.fm, which offered a more robust reporting system and stronger age verification, siphoned away disillusioned users. The novelty of anonymous Q&A was waning, and the internet's attention rapidly shifted toward image-centric apps like Instagram and Snapchat. By mid-2012, Formspring's traffic had plummeted by nearly 60%. The once buzzing forums were now ghost towns, populated by lingering accounts and sporadic bursts of activity. In a desperate bid to stay afloat, the company announced a partnership with a data analytics firm, promising to leverage user interactions for market research. Critics decried the move as a betrayal of the platform's original ethos, and trust eroded further. The final nail came on April 4, 2013, when Formspring servers were hit by a massive DDoS attack that crippled the site for hours. The outage exposed the fragile state of the company's infrastructure, and within days, the founders announced the shutdown of the service. A terse blog post read, "We are deeply sorry for the inconvenience. Formspring is no longer available." The statement offered no apology for the millions of users who had shared their secrets, hopes, and fears on the platform, leaving a void that resonated across the internet. In the aftermath, former users migrated to newer platforms, carrying with them a lingering wariness of anonymous social tools. The data breach that followed the shutdown, where millions of usernames and email addresses were leaked, rekindled debates about digital privacy and the responsibilities of tech startups. Scholars cited Formspring as a case study in the perils of rapid scaling without robust moderation frameworks. Meanwhile, the founders moved on. Ade Alano co-founded a health tech startup, while Mike M. stepped back from the public eye, both acknowledging in later interviews that the "Ask Me Anything" dream had outgrown its technical and ethical capacities. Formspring's brief lifespan underscores a timeless lesson. The internet's most seductive promises, total freedom, instant connection, boundless curiosity, must be balanced against the very real costs of unchecked anonymity and unsustainable monetization. Its rise illuminated the hunger for raw, unfiltered conversation. Its fall warned of the chaos that can emerge when platforms neglect the safety nets that keep that conversation civil. Subscribe to The Collapse for more stories like this.